By one estimate, the energy of the earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria was more than twice the power of every World War II explosive, including both atomic bombs.
Including both atomic bombs. This really is World War III, right? They really are pushing this as that. However, unconsciously, maybe a little bit subliminally, um, there's a lot of insinuation, hint, 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 hint. Uh, you know, this could very well be serendipity if you're in the West and pro-West, uh, synchronicity. Maybe it's just in the air, right? Maybe there is some higher supernatural power making this happen, causing it. Maybe it's a higher natural power, people, right? It's interesting how many pundits, writers, experts to change, and they talk about financial warfare, information warfare. Uh, they're talking about data gathering as a means of warfare, right? They're talking about psychological warfare, all these types of warfares, right? But no one of note, definitely not in the mainstream, talks about geoengineering warfare, right? Geoweapons. I mean, Tesla already had an earthquake machine, or he claimed to, more than 100 years ago, right? Capable of bringing down any building in New York City or the Brooklyn Bridge, what have you, right? I told you guys, I made a video as it happened, uh, that one day a few years ago, the Ecuadorian government announced that they would be doing an earthquake drill in one of the major cities here at 8 a.m. or something like that. And on that day, right, to a minute, to a T, right, right at if it was 8 or 9, I don't remember, but right on the hour, right, the earth shook. Oh my goodness, right? Synchronicity, coincidence. You could believe whatever you want to believe, and I'm not saying that this earthquake was in no way, shape, or form natural, right? I mean, there are fault lines in Turkey, but I'm wondering, and Turkey is an earthquake zone, right? But I'm wondering, you know, did somebody press a button to, release some of the tension and pressure and bring about an earthquake that was maybe not going to happen for decades or maybe another 100 years or so, right? Right? I mean, how difficult would it be, right? I'm just saying, but maybe this is all just coincidence and synchronicity, and war is just in the air, right? Destruction's in the air. So this is the U.S. ambassador to Turkey.
Tells us. It's 161 in terms of personnel, 12 dogs, and a lot of equipment, about 170,000.
What the fuck is he smiling about? Right? What the fuck? I'm just saying. He's into it, obviously. So not only was Turkey hit, but also Syria, right?
The only road the UN authorizes to carry supplies from Turkey to Syria is now mangled by the earthquake.
The only road, right, that carries supplies from Turkey to Syria, war-torn Syria, right? Turkey is helping Syria. Hmm. What a coincidence, right? Serendipity if you're in the West. How fucking convenient. Anyway, Erdogan, however the hell you say his name, the Turkish president, Erdogan, has been blocking Sweden's entrance into NATO. He's been throwing his weight around in, is it the Caspian Sea, right? He's been he's been having ideas of his own, basically, right? And that whole Quran burning in Sweden and those protests, I mean, how organic were they, right? To what degree? And or how many Russian agents were involved in that, right? In causing that turmoil. Because, I mean, if you're Sweden and you want to get into NATO and someone is preventing you from doing that, what? You insult them? You attack them, right? You make them. What? Or do you catch flies with honey? I'm just saying. I'm just saying, right? Are Swedes known for being low IQ and not emotional? Really? Is that what they're known for? Or was this whole operation created, supported by Russian special forces, right? Russian agents. Well, probably. I mean, come on. Let's not be stupid, right? There had to have been some. Maybe not, but anyway, speaking of Russia, where are all these Putin stooges, right? Who fell prey to Russian propaganda telling me that Putin is started this war. Well, he didn't even start the war. He just wanted to protect his Russian people from Ukrainian aggression. Like all this fucking nonsense, right? Every single day you hear 300 Russian troops dead, 600, up to 1,000 every single day. How many Russian troops have died in this war? 150,000 probably, right? I mean, they just mobilized 300,000 and they've been keeping on mobilizing. They've been mobilizing people for months now. And there's another official, I guess, grand mobilization coming, right? So 300,000 wasn't enough. Whatever they came in with officially originally, like 200,000. So 500,000 is not enough, right? It's pretty safe to say hundreds of thousands have been maimed, injured, taken off the battlefield, or killed, right? Because Putin cares about Russian people, right? As if Russia wasn't a failing empire, right? As if Russia wasn't, since its inception, an empire. What do empires do? They engage in geopolitics, right? What's geo mean? Is it about land or is it about people? What's it about? Right? This is territorial expansion from, a failing empire. Clearly, this war has exposed Russia as a failing empire, right? Empire that's been breaking up forever. Putin bemoaning the fact that USSR has broken up. One of the greatest, what did he call it, geopolitical tragedies? Or the greatest geopolitical tragedy? It's about the people, though. I mean, how fucking stupid do you have to be to believe this nonsense? Pretty fucking stupid, right? So where are all of you Putin stooges who attacked me, right? Saying that Putin just wants to help poor Russian people. How many of them has he killed already? Sent to their deaths already in this holy war, right? I thought we were against jihad and the like. Oh no, it's just when the Muslims do it, right? But when Christians do it, then jihad's okay. Fuck my life. And it's not even that. This is strictly geopolitical. These other ideologies, mechanisms are used to convince you to participate. Anyway, so this earthquake in Turkey, I mean, it could just be, a coincidence, synchronicity, right? War is in the air. This is just where we are right now. But, it could be that UN will now come in and offer humanitarian help. NATO will, chip in, help out maybe. And Erdogan will change his mind and finally allow Sweden into NATO, right? Something like that maybe. Who knows? who knows? I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But make no mistake, geoengineering weapons exist, right? If you had this sort of technology at your disposal and you were at war, right? And you could get away with using these undetectable probably, or these weapons that these governments aren't going to talk about because they all have them and they don't want the people to know that they're using them, right? Because whenever there's natural disasters, people might turn on their government and accuse them of causing it, right? So they don't want. Turkey probably has similar capabilities, some of these capabilities too, right? They have geoweapons, right? Not as powerful, not as advanced as, maybe NATO or US, really. But, this is, so they might wage this kind of warfare against one another if, on a hush hush basically, and disguise it as natural disasters and so on and so forth, and not talk about it publicly, right? Because it would just backfire on all of them, right? People would start questioning what the green agenda, all this other stuff, right? But these weapons exist. We know they do. You'd be a fucking idiot to not, at the very least, suspect that they have them, right? And why would you have weapons that you don't test? At the very least, don't use, right? Even nukes, if they do exist, they use them, they test them, they show them off, right? Why the fuck would you develop a weapon and never use it? What the fuck is the point of that? Right? So, again, I don't know what happened. I'm just saying things that you aren't supposed to be saying. You're not supposed to talk about. Lastly, when I did my amateurish, ignorant, you know what I mean, totally neophyte, I don't even want to call it analysis of the disparity between the military might of the West versus Russia, right? I didn't talk about nukes, and someone said, well, what about the nukes, right? Well, the reason why I didn't mention the nukes is because nobody wins a nuclear war, right? If they even have them, which I believe they do. That would just be suicide on part of Putin, right? Russia. And maybe they are that crazy. Maybe he's that insane, and he's hinted at it. I think it's just talk. I think they're just threats. I don't think Putin has the balls to just commit suicide. And I don't even think his finger is on the red button anyway. This would have to be approved by a number of agents, and I don't think the threat of nuclear war is very high. I don't think it's very likely that nukes will start flying, right? Because that would essentially be suicide for Russia. And this whole idea that, like, well, Russia has so many more nukes than the West. Do they? Do they really? I mean, how do you know, right? Russia's supposed to be this. They turn out to be a paper tiger, basically, right? All this military might that they claim to have, that other people's claim to have, well, it's just not there, is it? Right? So why would nukes be any different? But be that as it may, let me offer some more neophyte analysis, right? If the nukes were to start flying, right? If these people were that crazy to destroy everything that all of them together collectively have been building to create, right? Yeah, okay. Let me ask you this: where is the center, right? The center of the West. Where is it? Where is that command, right? Where is it? Is it Washington? Is it London? Is it Paris? Is it Berlin? Is it Warsaw? Is it, right? Where is it exactly, right? You could argue that, the Pentagon is what it is. Well, one of the centers, right? The West has many different hubs from which they could command, lead, right? Project power. You drop one nuke on the Kremlin and Russia's dead. So, I mean, come on. Come on. Anyway, I don't believe with the types of technologies they have that they could employ on the hush-hush, or the types of operations that they could carry out, blowing up pipelines and assassinating people, the ability to do all these things, the ability that they have to do all these things that could, decapitate governments if they really wanted to, that could cause long-lasting domino effect damage when carried out covertly, and so on and so forth. I just don't see much of a likelihood of nukes flying. It's just no. I just don't see that. I never, ever, ever was I afraid of this type of stuff. I just don't. It's so unlikely that this would happen, because everyone would lose at that point in time, right? And so many people, so many powerful people, are so invested in building something, that which they want to build, create, that nukes flying all over the place would set everybody back hundreds of years, probably, right? Their plans of, and it's just not going to happen. Anyway, yeah, this could very well be just a very unfortunate or fortunate, depending on where you are, natural disaster. This could be supernatural power asserting itself. But I think it's most likely just World War III. That's what I think it is. That's what it looks like to me. And it may never actually be called that, actually. Because, well, maybe the goal is to do things as covertly as possible, right? When will they start talking about geoweapons? When? Right? They're scaring you with nukes and all this other stuff, but not the weapons that they have, right? That they've been using on us forever now. Okay. That's my shittiest video, right? And to all you Putin stooges out there, where the fuck you at? Where you at? I thought so.